Happy Wednesday, everybody! Luke 22, 43 to 44. Oh my gosh, he's bringing a Bible onto YouTube. Yeah, I am. That's how I do. Luke 22, 43 to 44. And there appeared to him an angel from heaven, strengthening him. And being in an agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down upon the ground. These two verses jumped out at me once upon a time. They come from the story of the agony in the garden. It was the night before Jesus was going to be crucified, and he knew that he was going to be crucified, which is, a pretty heavy thought. Hey, I'm going to die tomorrow. They're going to nail me to a tree, and it's going to hurt. So he goes to a garden to pray about it. And he says, Father, if possible, take this cup away, but not my will, but yours be done. I've reflected on just this little part of the story already loads in my spiritual life and found a lot of things to think about. Jesus, at a time when he feels fragile, goes to prayer. Oftentimes in my prayer I get really complicated and like I'm trying to pray a super fancy prayer with fancy words. But there's a good saying I heard recently: pray as you can, not as you want. Sometimes it's good to go to prayer and just say, hey God, this is what's on my heart, and it's kind of heavy. This is what's bugging me. If you'd be so kind, it'd be really nice if you took it away. But in the end, I trust you. Your will be done. Just help me, cooperate. Right after this prayer where Jesus says, not my will, but yours be done, is the verse about the angel. And right after that is when we read about how his sweat became like drops of blood, which always felt kind of backwards to me. I mean, shouldn't it be first Jesus is in anguish, sweats drops of blood and all that, then the angel comes, comforts him, and he feels better, right? Instead, first comes the angel of comfort, then comes the bloody agony sweat. And that's weird. But eventually, here's what I thought. And disclaimer, I'm not a biblical scholar. This is not an exegesis. This is just a reflection that helped me in my spiritual life, and I'm hoping it'll help you too. What if when the angel came to Jesus, he said something like this: Dear Jesus, my Lord and my God, this cup will not be taken away, but the Father will give you the strength you need. And yes, that's comforting, but also painful. Now, is that what happened? I have no idea. It's just a thought, for what it's worth. Once upon a time, I was studying to be a priest, and I was studying to be a priest for a long time. Then one day I began to hear God calling me to leave that path of studying for the priesthood, which was very strange and confusing. Full disclosure, in some ways it was exciting to think about leaving the path of studying for the priesthood, but in other ways it was hard to hear God calling me away from that path because priestly life is really beautiful. And also, of course, for a long time I was confused. God, I've been studying to be a priest for a long time. What do you want me to do? Do you really want me to leave? So I prayed a lot about it and talked to my spiritual director about it and discerned, and eventually it started becoming clear that God did want me to walk away from this path of studying for the priesthood, which was great because things were a lot less confusing as soon as I started understanding what it was that God wanted me to do. But it was painful in some ways too. As I said, the priesthood is beautiful, and letting go of the idea of being a priest can be hard. Also, you probably noticed I lost the room that I was recording in, so this is a new backdrop. Yay! At any rate, at this time in my life, those couple of gospel verses meant a lot to me. Living through this time when it was definitely comforting as understanding where God wanted me in life became clearer, but also having to let go of ideas of who I was going to be. Moral of the story, when hard times come, I bring it to prayer. I find oftentimes he doesn't take away what's hard, but he does help us get through it. I hope that helps someone somewhere. It's kind of a simple reflection, but it's yours now. Also, thanks for watching. Once again, my goal is to get 500 subscribers by the end of August 2015, so please share this with all your friends, and we'll see if we can make it. Also, let me know in the comment sections if this reflection helped you, or if you have other ways of dealing with hard times. God bless you all, and ciao.